welcome back guys for a new video on this channel, and this is actually the first episode of a 3-week series in which we're gonna use the Dedenne. And you guys knew that because of the title of the video, of course. If you watched the last episode of the last series, you might have noticed that there weren't actually any Pokemon suggested by any viewer, which was kind of discouraging, perhaps a little bit, but perhaps I wasn't clear enough. I was looking for new suggestions, so I decided to pick one from the suggestions of the series before that, and I either went with Crocoon or Dedenne, and I decided to go with Dedenne since it was suggested by someone who always comments on my videos and watches them, very loyal, and I appreciate it. So I decided to pick his suggestion, even though I kinda hate Dedenne, to be honest. I don't hate the design or what it's like in the anime, but competitively it really sucks. And yeah, I've been trying all kinds of sets last week to get a set in which Dedenne actually does do some work in this team, and I ended up resorting to checking out the internet for different suggestions, and I found a set which is used in VGC, and since I haven't used any VGC on this channel so far, I decided to give it a try, and well, that ended up a little bit more fruitful, and this is the team I've built. So I'm going to go over the team a bit more in depth in the first episode, and next episodes they will be a lot shorter. So this VGC team is something I've not done that much before, building teams for VGC, so it was a lot of fun. I decided to start off with Dedenne, of course, even though it isn't on the first spot here. And basically Dedenne is a clerk. He helps out the Pokemon that are on the field with Nuzzle, which is a guaranteed chance to paralyze, and speed control is very important in VGC, so that makes it a very useful move. And he has also access to Eerie Pulse, which lowers my opponent's special attack by 2 stages, and Charm, which lowers the physical attack by 2 stages. So those are the support moves that Dedenne has, and he also has Recycle, which works very nicely with his Citrus Berry and his Cheek Pouch ability, which means that whenever he uses a berry, it also restores 1/3 of his max HP. So I get half and 1/3, which means I get an insane amount of HP back. And together with Recycle, I was hoping to get Dedenne on the field and keep him on the field a little bit longer. Now, of course, this means that Dedenne does no damage at all, and I have to have some hard-hitting mons on this team. I decided to go for Kangaskhan, which is pretty much the most used mon in VGC, I feel. And together with his Mega Evolution, he gets a Parental Bond, which means any hit he goes for attacks twice, and that means that he does a lot of damage. And combined with his very high attack stat, means that Kangaskhan is my max damage output member on this team. He uses a Return, Power Punch, Sucker Punch, and Fake Out, and Scrappy before he Mega Evolves. So together with Dedenne, this mon is supposed to do most of the damage, but I also have some other physical offensive mons. I have Talonflame with the Choice Band, and Roost in case I get knocked off, or I can do some switch shenanigans or stall out something. And besides that, it's just a basic offensive Talonflame. Bisharp with the basic set, Defiant, which helps against Intimidate users. My Scarf Landorus T, which is also offensive, and my Venum in a last slot, which is a mon that I enjoy mainly because I really like this idea behind Prelude. I don't think it's that useful in any other tier than VGC, but I like its design. I like the way it's supposed to work. with Technician and Spore and all that kind of things Breloom has going for it. So I'm using a Sash Breloom to round up my team. Well, I am aware that I have only physical attackers on this team. I feel that it should be able to work. I need some suggestions from you guys on this team. Perhaps some special defense offensive mons, which would be a really nice change of the team, I think. But I've decided to go with this team for now in the next video. And yeah, let's see if I can get some use out of the Dedenne, and let's see what we can do with this mon. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so we found an opponent with the first mon that jumps out to me is Lopunny, which is probably the Mega variety, because there's no sense in running the non-Mega variety, of course. And that means that I have to be careful with my Kangaskhan, if I bring it at all. I see Staraptor, which is also very dangerous. And I decided to go with my Dedenne, of course, because I want to make that one work. I would lead off with Kangaskhan most of the time, but looking at my opponent's team and especially the fighting type attack that is incoming, I decided to lead off with Landorus. So I'm bringing Landorus, of course, and I decided to bring my Bisharp and the last slot behind. So Kangaskhan, Dedenne, Bisharp and Lando, with Lando, Therian at the first slot and the Dedenne and the other two in the back. So let's see what my opponent is going to lead off with. And my opponent leads off with Scyther. I have to say I really like Scyther. It's my favorite mon after Scizor, which doesn't make that much sense, I think, because they're pretty much the same mon, but I love them. I love the design, I love the way they are in the anime, and I used to love them back in the day when I watched Pokemon on TV and stuff. So he did lead off with the two mons I predicted, or at least Lopunny, of course. Scyther was a bit obvious. I'm very happy with the Intimidate. I get the first turn, but I know that Lopunny is still a very dangerous mon, intimidated or not. So he brings in Staraptor, switches out his Scyther, which is fine. I can go for a Nuzzle on the Staraptor or the Scyther slot, because that's the fastest mon, and I was predicting the fake out with Lopunny, which always seems to be the first move people go for on Lopunny. So the second turn I can go for a Rock Slide, do a lot of damage. I am a bit unfortunate on a miss here, but nothing to do about that, and he goes for the Ice Punch. So this shows that I am quite unfamiliar with Lopunny. It doesn't really matter which tier, I guess, because Ice Punch should be common. I didn't see it coming. I would have switched out here. So he switches out his Staraptor and goes back into Scyther, which means that he's no longer intimidated, which is a very good play. I decided to Mega Evolve and go for the fake out, do some free damage on Scyther, since Lopunny is still paralyzed and I have a chance of him not hitting a stack, and also the Dedenne gets another charm off, which means that the attack of Lopunny is down to 0.4, below half. So you would think that Lopunny isn't that much of a threat, but if you check out the damage it does the next turn, it's still amazing. He misses his high jump kick, which is probably game changing, I think. I am still banking on his full para here, and I do not knock out this side. He goes for the high jump kick here, and look at the damage. Keep in mind that of course it's super effective and it's a very high attack move, but this low pony is down so low, his attack went down so low, and he still does that amount of damage, which is insane. So I go for a sucker punch, which doesn't do that much in the next turn. I was hoping to knock it out, but I can't, and Scyther takes me out with a quick attack. I'm gonna go for Charm on the Scyther, bringing his attack down 2, and I take this return like a champ, and check out the HP I get back from that berry. It's amazing. I bring in Bisharp, and at this point I'm down to my last 2 mon, and my opponent only took some damage. He didn't even lose a mon so far, so I was pretty close to giving up, I think, but I decided to stay in. I get paras on a lot of his team members, so I was hoping that I could have worked my way around that, and I go for the charm, but I didn't predict his switch out, which is very nice on his part. I can go for the knockoff, and I get a full para on Scyther, which is very lucky, because I'm sure a bug type attack would have taken out Bisharp even with Scyther this low. We both go for protect, and I didn't saw that one coming. I need this Sylveon paralyzed in order to take it out with an Iron Head, but it can't be helped. I go for sucker punch, and luckily I do take it out. I'm not sure if this was a roll or not, but I'm very happy, because this means I am still in the game, and I can go for a Nuzzle, bringing the Scyther even down a bit more. And this bug bite does a lot less than I thought it would, so I guess this para last turn on Scyther was important, but not that important. And he brings in his low pony, which will go for a fake out. I predicted on Bisharp because the Dedenne poses no threat offensively, and he goes for a feint which goes through protect. I didn't know that, but that's pretty much because I never play VGC, so I outspeed low pony, take it out with a sucker punch, take some life orb damage, but that's fine. And Scyther goes down to a Nuzzle, so the Dedenne actually gets a kill here. I didn't think that would happen, but we're not there yet. I am getting my Defiant boost here, which means I probably can take out this Staraptor without any problem. But I decided to protect and charm just to be sure, and my opponent realizes after this turn that there's no way he can win this, and he forfeits. So not only did the Dedenne put in some work, he actually did get a kill, which is awesome. And yeah, that's the Dedenne. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and with that, see ya.